Hi, everybody. Baruch Hashem. We're on the fourth class of our Malchus. Let's see what number it is again. It's from the talks of Shabbos, Parshas Pinchas, blessing of the new month, Menachem Av, the 24th of Tammuz, 5751. This book, you can get it if you go to Moshiach, Moshich, Living Moshiach, I'm sorry, living, then Moshiach.com. And if you go to the library, they have this book. This is the second half of Bar Midbar. You have it in English. You can follow inside, or you can read it later. Okay, so right now we've up to number 10, but I'm like, this is just really like, I just saw some. I learned this over. Baruch Hashem, hopefully I'll be able to give a good class to you guys. Baruch Hashem, this is like the most important stuff to learn. The more the Rebbe says there's nothing more important than to learn these about the Bar Malchus. He says that, like I tell people, it's like, what's it mean the most important, timely thing? I mean, we're in Israel, yeah, we're in Tzfas. Baruch Hashem, not problems, but occasionally you have some missiles coming over. Not as bad as other areas. But as soon as the missile comes over, you pick up and you run to your safe house, the bomb shelter. So that's what this is. Dvar Malchus, if you start to understand it, that's our bomb shelter. That we learn it and we get into it and we live it and become part of us. It protects us from everything and turns us to live Geula. So the Rebbe was saying, let me see, pull this up here. My phones make the language proper language, so I don't have to mess it up. So we say in the beginning of the night prayer, we say right before going to bed, we say, Ribbono Shalom, Master of the world, Areini Mochel Chomi Shehikni Osi. Behold, I forgive anybody who got me mad, or got me angered, or shachat to connect your sinned against me, ben bekufe, ben b'moni, ben bekvodi, ben bekosher li, whether they did it and they were hurt me physically, and it was a physical hurt, or they sinned against me financially, or they just put me down, my covet, my honor, or anything I had, whether they did it intentionally, or they did it willfully, or whether they did it unintentionally, different levels, own this, different levels of intentional, unintentional, and being bediba, whether by speech, whether by sex, and whether by action. So this is what the Rebbe says. The Rebbe says over here, we say this every night, ben begil gozeh, ben begil acher, l'chalva Yisrael, lo yeh not shum adam misubasi. So he says, whether, this is an amazing thing, it's like we're saying to Hashem that anybody, this Gilgal, or all the way back to Adam Rishon or Har Sinai, how far our souls go back, anybody, that anybody in all of those generations who did something to us, they should all be forgiven. I'm asking God you to forgive them. You should forgive them all. So the Rebbe is going to talk about in the end of this. He's talking about how it's amazing that if you do everything correct, how you change everything. You have to be where you are. So right now, we're in times of right in the Gula, and preparing for the Gula, so you have to be totally in the Gula. So a person at the end, well, hopefully we go over this today, if not the next class. But the Rebbe says over there, talks about in detail, a person says about, who am I? I mean, here I am, Zvi Rauh, okay? I'm sitting over here in Tzfas, which is a wonderful place, by the way. I love it here. And I live my little place. I get up, I go to shul, I work on my computer a little bit here and there, whatever. And I don't see many people. I don't have that much contact. How can I change the world? And if I wasn't on giving this class, it would be a greater question. Because it's giving class, because by Hashem, and a lot of people get to see it, so a lot of changes for Hashem. Sigula Shlema. So he says, he brings from what we just said. That person is that he's asking Hashem that they shouldn't be punished. What's the Lashon? Let's look at the Lashon again. So he's asking, he says over, below Yain Shum Adam Bisibasi. Nobody should be able to be punished. In other words, right now I'm forgiving everybody and ask Hashem, don't punish anybody because of me. But I mean, why should you punish because of me? Because, I deserved it, I guess. I don't know. It says everything's from Hashem. But it's an amazing thing. It's like, don't punish anybody. And that means generations back till I first came. It says we're the generations that came out of Mitzrayim. So all the Gilgulim and anybody who was involved with me. That's the Rebbe is showing here how we can affect the whole world. Okay, so let's go. Hopefully we'll get to this. Okay, so we're talking about how that the main thing is that a person has to, let's see, go over this, that first, if you want to conquer something, you have to conquer it in two ways. One way, you have to conquer it by your thought, speech, and action. Everything you're involved, your whole being is involved in conquering it. And it's not just part of you, because it's not joint conquered. And the other level, he said, the other level is that the person being conquered, it's recognize him you're conquered from below. It's you see that he's your servant, or he's your nation. So he talked about that therefore generally, then he talked about the idea that when a person does something, that he has to do it in an inner way. It has to do it his whole being. So even if it's a preparation for mitzvah, which what we talked about, that preparation, since it's from Hashem, and Hashem told you this is a preparation, you're serving God, and you have to be totally into it. Now, beginning of the Sikha, we talked about making Machdo as Yisrael, that the Tzamach Tzedek, they say, according to what we said to this will be understood. The lesson from this in the service of man in the present place and time, and according to the instructions of Tzamach Tzedek, as mentioned above in chapter 1, to the Jew who wanted to ascend to Eretz Yisrael and immerse himself in Torah, like I'm doing, Baruch Hashem, and godly service, he said, no, make here Eretz Yisrael. Although here, outside of Eretz Yisrael, is not Eretz Yisrael, even though he said, make here Israel, the land of Israel. Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel. He says, even though here, when they're talking about they were in Russia at the time, or in America, outside Israel, outside of the land of Israel, and it's not the land of Israel, and the service outside the land of Israel is, and so we're doing something outside, and at the time of Galus is a preparation for complete service and true and complete redemption in the land of Israel, as the Jewish people pray every day. So this is a preparation for us to go to the land of Israel. We're not there. We're not in the redemption. However, since our being in Galus and outside of the land of Israel is certainly not by chance, heaven forbid, rather by divine providence. And I do not request only according to their strength. That only Hashem, when he tests us and he gives us problems and he gives us things we have to live through and manage and bear with, whatever, there are some terrible things, he also gives us the strength to manage to do it. So, indeed, there is a purpose and a point in this place, and the state itself, in this place, why he's there and why he's in this situation, which is connected and is a foretaste of all the embracing purpose of Eretz Yisrael. What's he mean? Was is verbunden mit clouds that generally that is a foretaste that this is a preparation of making a vessel, a foretaste for all the intent and all the invention going to Eretz Yisrael, which is for the sake of service of God in exile, is a preparation. So it's his whole thing that he's doing this place right now, and his place and his personal thing, that this has to be similar. That what is he doing now? He's preparing to go to Eretz Yisrael, preparing for the Gula Shlema. So this has to be in what he's doing right now, and connected to and as a foretaste of the Gula Shlema. And therefore, a Jew needs to do his service here, in this place and time, in the most possible completeness. The person say, well, right now I'll do what I can do. I'm not going to kill myself. I'm not going to run around and make sure everybody has Rebbe water and everybody knows about relating to the Rebbe. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm just going to go, whatever. I meet somebody, I'll give him something, this, that. A person could say that. But he's not giving his all, no. So, and therefore, a Jew who needs to do, by the way, I give out the water from the Rebbe. Most people already know about it. It's miracle water. When you get it, you make as much as you want. Give it people had cancer. Doctors recommend it. People with cancer. Doctors here in Israel, several recommend it for several things. I've seen given it to the Biala Rebbe. He loves it. I've saved several lives with it. My wife also. After giving, we've seen major changes. So my problem is, the whole world doesn't know about it. I'm not doing it in a complete way. That's an example. And therefore, a Jew needs some of his service here, because this is a preparation of coming of Mashiach. In this place and time, in the most possible completeness, befitting the powers and the opportunities in his present state, in thought, speech, and action, like a panemi. It's to be a panemi. We talked about a little bit before, that a person, whatever he is, he's totally there. And the situation we brought about was that by the Rebbe Rashab, that they were singing a Hasidic nigun melody before the special discourse, and they were singing it fast because they were so hungry to get what the Rebbe was going to say. And he says, you got to be where you're at. They're singing a nigun, attaching yourself to Hashem, make yourself a vessel. They're the glorious words of the Rebbe, the Mashiach of the generation. You have to be totally to prepare yourself. So you're there. Like a Levi is totally involved in service in which he's occupied with now, and does not think at the time about another service that will come afterwards. And what is the content of his service here? So what are we doing here? What am I doing? Is to make a dwelling place and abode for him, blessed be he in the lower chambers in this lower world. In the words of the Tzaddik Tzedek, Machdo Eretz Yisrael, make here Eretz Yisrael. Make this place holy. Make this place shine from godliness. To make from this place and time a land in which Judaism is clearly evident. That's make this place. That means it's Eretz Yisrael. It's a Jew is Israel, and wherever he is, it is in his power to make the place in which he is into a place similar to that of the land of Israel, Eretz Yisrael, and especially in synagogues and houses of study outside the land of Israel, Eretz Yisrael, and Babel, and which are destined to be relocated to the Eretz Yisrael, to the land of Israel. So it says that wherever a person is, there's another sikha that we learned later on. We learned earlier that all the holy temples and everything are going to be attached to the temples outside Israel. The synagogues are going to be attached to the one in Israel. We're going to relocate. But we have to make it. We have to prepare it. So make a preparation for it. I don't know. I'm trying to see if this is good. And read a footnote 51. See Mer Kasiva says this was on that it said. It says that it is in his power to make the place in which he is into a place similar to that of Eretz Yisrael. So footnote 51. See me Er Kasuvos 11b. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, the Meir in Kasuvos 110b. Every place in which is found wisdom and fear of sin has the law that's like that of the Eretz Yisrael. Wow. And to the extent that one is not allowed to leave Babel to other lands because of the Torah and the wisdom that are there. See at length the Sikha. So the Rebbe talks about this, that we're talking about Machdo Eretz Yisrael. So when you bring fear and love of Hashem, fear of wisdom and fear of sin, that you understand what's right and you're afraid of God, he says that's a place that's considered like Eretz Yisrael. You're not allowed to leave a place, but people are like that for another place. And note that the law that are based in, that was ordained in Eretz Yisrael, and we could outside of Israel, can rule even on laws of penalties outside of Israel. So he's talking about that here's another situation from the Rambam, that when the base thing goes outside of Israel, it still has the power to talk about the laws outside of Israel. I guess the same laws that would be in Israel, it can still tell about them. It's talking about that how to make here Eretz Yisrael, Machdo Eretz Yisrael. Moreover, specifically doing the service with a completeness here in the place and the time of exile, namely, one is totally involved in the service with his thought, speech, and action. This itself gets the person used to and brings him to the goal, for the sake of which he does the service here. So why am I doing here a preparation? The service in Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, literally in the true and complete redemption. We're preparing for that. Similarly to the words of the sages, that mitzvahs in the present time are reminders so that when you return to the Holy Land, they will not be new thing to you. In other words, it's going to be something special. You're going to understand. You're going to be relative for it. And especially, there's once I heard this story from Rabbi Ram Ayar, and he told a very nice story anyways. So the story was, there was this one king, and the king was like a special king. It was a real, like a Jewish king, a good one, a good guy, a real holy king, like the Rebbe Malchus. And, he wanted that he would conquer more lands, but because he wanted to elevate them, that they should become special, because he just revealed godliness everywhere he went. So there was this one country that was just a bunch of savages. They were like really low level, had no concept of God or anything. And if you would talk about it, they would kill you. They thought you were, I mean, it was like communism. I don't know. It was pretty bad in certain times. So this is the mashal. So the king was asking all his advisors, who can I send there who won't be affected and will be able to raise them up? Because he wanted somebody to live there and to slowly teach him what things were like, so that, I guess, when he would later come and be their king, they would be able to receive him. I mean, if you're going into a kingdom, it's a good kingdom, it takes care of everybody. It's like our special father. So he's very, very special. So anyways, the person everybody decides the only person who could possibly handle this would be his son, his only son. It was a very wonderful son, beautiful neshama. So the father sits and teaches him all the essence of his philosophy and everything, and strengthens him and sends him off there. And so the son's there, and he's living like these heathens. If they thought he was anything else, they'd kill him. So it goes on. So his father sends sends spies there to make sure he's doing okay, and he sees that his son is losing it. He's forgetting who he is. So his son, he finally sends a letter explaining to his son everything. His son reads the letter and starts dancing and singing. But before he starts dancing and singing, he takes out a big bottle of mashka, because if they saw him dancing and singing, he opened up a letter, they'd kill him. They'd say, "You're crazy." So he takes out a big bottle of mashka, and he starts drinking with everybody. He starts dancing and singing, and it's like in Mamish, he realized who he was again. He was lost, and how special he is. He's a special son of the special king, and he realized all this, and he was so excited. So he started drinking, and they all danced and sung because they thought he was drunk, and he was drinking because what happened to him. So why I brought this out is that he forgot who he was, and then by learning Dvar Malchus, he remembered who he was. He learned what his king said, the words of the king, and it reawoke him. And that's what we're talking about. That you have to learn Dvar Malchus, so we should remember who we are, and that we're in the generation of Mashiach. As I've said many times, when the Rebbe was saying this, he was not understandable by many people, by me for sure. I don't know anybody else. I know other people too, but by me, I couldn't understand why it wasn't in the base of Mikdash Shabbos would come. It was such a strong, amazing thing. And right now, it's a little bit more work. But if you bring and talk about it, because the world is much amazing, what's happening with all the Jews and since the Rebbe, since Gimel Tamuz, since the Rebbe became more hidden a little bit. Some ways not hidden. He's he's more here than ever before. You see what's happening in the world. The Jews waking up. I mean, when I did tshuva in 1970 in Tucson, Arizona, nobody was doing tshuva. There were maybe, 10 religious families there, maybe. Not many. And now you can't go any place where somebody doesn't know somebody, either a family member or a friend who doesn't do tshuva. It's such a special time. Anyways, let's go further. And especially when we're speaking of the preps we're talking about what we have to do. Especially when we're speaking of the preparation of the true and complete redemption, which is in its name denotes, what's it denote? Truth and completeness in all matters, in all details of man in the world. And from this understanding, this is what we're doing. We're talking, preparing for this time, for Gula Shlema, the completeness of the redemption, whose concept is revealing the completeness in each detail, and also in the matters which are only a preparation for another matter. No matter there also that every detail is dependent on this service, namely that while we are here, the service of man is with completeness in his thought, speech, and action. Make here at Israel. Rebbe is saying an amazing thing. The whole concept of bringing the complete redemption, the Gula Shlema, Rebbe is talking about, and he said, give everything over to us. Rebbe is saying here, this is what we have to do. And it's not in a manner that is evident that he should merely prepare for something else. I don't know what this means. I don't see what it says in English. Undavka the avoda b'shleimus da. You do the avoda here completely. We feel nor mekin darten ton the avoda b'shleimus. Oh, you do it as, and not in a matter. I think he said wrong. Is that you have to do it in a way that you're doing it in a complete way. Geweint in the mensch. Oh, as a. And not in a matter that is evidence that he's merely preparing for something else. And specifically, the service is in completeness here, in the utmost completeness and the capability of a person there, that gets the person used to and brings him to the completeness of the service of Eretz Israel, the land of Israel, and the true and complete redemption. So the Rebbe says a few things. One thing he says, by doing this, by living Geula, that's why we have to learn this and drink Rebbe water, and do anything we can to live Geula and show miracles in the world, that all of this is making us a vessel so that when we see the Gula Shlema, we'll be a vessel to receive it. And according to this instruction, making here Eretz Israel, making here the land of Israel is understood, that although we are in exile, and a moment afterwards redemption will come and we will go to Eretz Israel. Number one, the service in this moment, in this place here, needs to be with the utmost completeness according to the current condition and current place. Number two, the service must be expressed in make here Eretz Yisrael, make here the land of Israel, to bring into here, to this place and time, Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel. The completeness of the state of redemption, similar to Panimi. What's it mean? So now, even in the Galus, I'm going to bring this, who infuses completeness in each detail of a service, also in the matters which only a preparation for and other matters. That's two is that we have to do it in a complete way, like a panimi. Okay, and three is that itself gets the Jewish people used to the redemption until it brings the complete redemption when all the Jewish people return to the land of Israel, literally, and in the land of Israel is destined to spread to all the lands through the service of make here Eretz Israel. So this is a preparation for our complete redemption when we return. And not only that, when we return to Israel, then the whole world is going to be Israel. Number 11. This matter is more emphasized in the calendar layer of this year, the Shabbos, Parshas Pinchas, in which we read regarding the settling of the division of the land. It's also the Shabbos blessing Rosh Chodesh Menachem, which occurs on this year on Fridays. The Rebbe says, he's talking about when the Rebbe said this, they were blessing the month. You hear that? That's Jews going to destroy a Malach, Mechias HaMalach. The airplanes are going to destroy their enemies, Baruch Hashem. Although in Torah, this month it's called Av. The custom of the Jewish people is called Menachem Av. So in the Torah, this month is called the month of Av, the month that's coming next month. But we call it Menachem Av. We add the word Menachem. Moreover, we actually begin with Menachem. And we not only say Menachem, we could say Av Menachem, but we say Menachem Av. We begin with Menachem, and we may say the Rebbe is saying a chiddush, a new thing here. That one of the reasons for this is that Menachem. This is something nobody ever explained before. You got to understand when the Rebbe says, and we may say V'yesh Lemer, it's like something new the Rebbe is giving and telling us. I found something new to share with you. My new wisdom I'm giving over to you guys. It's a wonderful thing. So what's he talking about? That since Menachem is called the Comforter, which denotes the comfort of the redemption, is the purpose of the descent in the month of Av. And the month of Av is when the destruction of the Holy Temple was, many more things. And more than that, Menachem, which has to do with his redemption. Okay, but Menachem is to be, okay, which is denotes the comfort of redemption, is the purpose of descent in the month of Av. Moreover, that Menachem redemption is the beginning which comes before all matters of descent, as the words of our sages say in the verse, the spirit before Hashem was hovering over the face of the earth. So Menachem is even before anything bad. And just like it says that they were hovering by Hashem at the spirit of the face of Hashem, that's the lesson over here. Hold on. Ruach Elokim, that the spirit of Hashem was hovering over the land. That immediately at the beginning of the creation there was the spirit of Mashiach. Since redemption is the foundation, an amazing thing, and the inner purpose of all matters. Everything is just to do with redemption. What's redemption? Just living with God, being one with God, and being with everybody in godly level. Redemption, and everything's God. Also of Av. It's also redemption of Av, meaning the root and the source. What's Av? Av is the father, which means the root and the source of everything. In the words of the Talmud, of Wuhan to Kukulha, the source of all of them. Is the Father, like the source of everything, the source of all matters, also matters of holiness. And we may say this is another Kiddush, that this gives, so first the Rebbe is talking about Menachem is in from Gula, that it comes first. And then Av is the source of everything. So now he's going to say, and we may say that this gives afterwards the power, which a descent comes outwardly and temporarily, one will be able to reveal in it that its essence is not only an introduction to another matter, rather, this itself is its concept. The ascent Menachem in it. In other words, then the Rebbe, some terrible things happen. You'll be able to reveal in these terrible things what the real purpose of it is. And it's only temporary on the outside. And hopefully all these temporary type of things should go away right now. And it's known that's why, that the whole reason is for the ascent from Menachem. And it is known that the phenomenon of Geula, redemption, is made up of Gola. So the redemption is made up, the word Geula has that aleph in it, and the exile is Gola. It's the same word without the aleph in it in Hebrew. It means exile, Gola. With the addition of aleph, when you put in the aleph, since what's the aleph? Since through the revelation of the aleph Shalom, that the aluf Shalom, the master of the world, in the exile itself, it itself becomes Gula. That it's saying that when you reveal Hashem into the world, this is like what I was explaining to somebody, I think today was it yesterday? It was yesterday actually. That we give out Rebbe water, and what Rebbe does all kinds of miracles, and you just take it, and like this is l'chaim, everybody. I make my coffee from Rebbe water, as much as I can get into me, because it's wonderful stuff, l'chaim. I was explaining somebody today in shul, and saying this is like what Rebbe's talking about here. You have regular water, like just regular, not Mashiach water, regular water, and you add it to the Rebbe's water, which I call Mashiach water, water from the Rebbe, or healing water from the Rebbe, and you add it a little at a time. Above, I'll show in another thing, and it all becomes holy. I've given it to Rebbe's. I've seen many miracles. My wife's given up for 30 years, where people are coming, asking more and more for it. We just, as I say, we haven't given it out to the world, unfortunately. We're working on it, but this is the Indian. I think that the Rebbe is an example in the world how you can make something and you add the aleph in it. You add the aluvi sha'olam. You add the bracha from the Rebbe Melch Mashiach in it, and this that was regular now becomes holy special. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to take from this world and reveal how it's all godliness. Okay. let's see what we got left here. Okay, and we find ourselves on Shabbos Mevorach and Menachem up. Shabbos is the Shabbos right before the month of the new month, and we bless that everything is blessed from the new month. So so therefore this Shabbos we're blessing the whole new month. And so the Shabbos Menachem up. What I didn't mention, I mean, I've been through it. The Rebbe says there's a Atre Hashem Shena Afterbe. I think the lesson is correct. But you say happy for God that He got angry with me, or that He did bad. In general, like we're talking about, we can see that sometimes we go through different trials and tribulations, and we see that we learn from it, we get a better from it. Like you go through a lot of difficulties, you understand and you feel for people, you become more sensitive. Actually, this happened just in the whole world now. Something terrible happened. There was a person who was backing the Jews, who was backing us. He's running for former President Trump, and he's sitting up there, and the guy doesn't take care. It's like, to me, it looks like they wanted him killed. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't say that, but it was so bad what they had. It was just so bad that the person in charge of the place just resigned. And he got up there, and he went to and he got up, and then he went to a rally afterwards, and he got up and he said he was thanking Hashem that this was from Hashem, from God. God saved my life. If it weren't for God, I went. This is like a person who hopefully will be the leader of the world, the most powerful man in the world, and he's doing this Chiddush Hashem before everybody. So I heard that after this he became much more calmed down. Became much more, not so much fighting, much more reconciliation. It affected him. It changed. That God did something for him. I mean, I don't know if this is what I heard, but I'm just trying to use an example. God did something for him, this terrible thing, and as a result, he got out of it. And right now, he's like, it helped him. It helped him. That he's becoming a better person from it. And so let's go further. That the idea is that we have to have the holiness, the godliness, ourselves, the Rebbe, the Eibishter, anything good that from godliness in our whole life, and everything we do, and that becomes a geula then. And finding ourselves on Shabbos and Menachem Av, the Shabbos, which blesses Menachem Av. Remember, Menachem comes from Av is the father, the source of everything. So it comforts the source of everything. Indeed, the inner purpose of the state of exile here is more revealed as known that on Shabbos in general, and especially on the Shabbos Bein HaMitzarim, the 3 weeks, the ascent that there is in this time of the year is openly revealed. So the Rebbe is saying over here that Shabbos we see that godliness is revealed, and especially this 3 weeks is even more revealed, and this gives additional strength to accomplish Make Eretz Yisrael. That it means that it's a vessel time. That the Rebbe says, "Shtei begila de liyabas is in dem zman b'shana." It's more revealed, this revelation of godliness in these 3 weeks. Then Shabbos is when I make Eretz Yisrael to bring the redemption of literally in the goal of exile. You know, it only happened to me once. This, which not more often, but I was once by the Skolena Rebbe. He came to Los Angeles where I was working for helping somebody, a person who gave us a lot of money, and they invited me for Shabbos. He was sick, so I had some special operations, some medical care they could only get there, and he was staying in Palm Springs. This is the one who recently passed away a couple years ago. Very special guy. So I remember that a few very special experiences with him. But the one that I'm remembering about is that I remember that but Shabbos, that I came down to light with him Shabbos. I was staying by a hotel room about maybe 4 or 5 minutes walk, and I came there and I was like 1 minute before Shabbos, like right before Shabbos. And I lit, and he lit, and I lit with him. And I remember seeing everything elevating. Everything going, everything, like the specialness of the Shabbos. So anyways, the Shabbosim is a thing of elevating. It's going wonders. So he says, so therefore, that now we have special power in these times. And this, now we have to understand, when the Rebbe says these times, that was back in 1991. And everything in Judaism, especially according to Chassidus, builds up. You don't lose. In other words, we have that plus more right now. We have everything. So it's not like we don't, but at that time it becomes more evident, more a new thing, a new power. But the power is new and builds up on itself. Like we say, like happiness we get from simple Torah, different things. That doesn't mean you don't have to wait till next year to get happiness. It builds and it goes into everything. And this, so when the Rebbe is telling some revelations of things, it's for us now. And this reaches yet to a higher level in our generation and our time. And with an emphasis in the calendar layout this year, in which Rosh Chodesh Menachem occurs on Friday, and when everything is ready for the feast, for Adam HaRishon. That's when we are now. So what Friday? Everything, when Adam HaRishon was created, everything was ready for him. We are now in the 6th millennium. He's talking about special time, which corresponds to the 6th day of the week, and in itself, Erev Shabbos after midday, because 5,751 would be already afternoon, the later afternoon. And according to all signs of the redemption, we are already literally holding at the coming of the redemption, as my father-in-law, the Rebbe, informed, publicized, and announced that we have already finished everything necessary to bring the redemption, including polishing the buttons. The Rebbe said, actually the Rebbe was the one who said this, Friedrich Rebbe is not, and also we're standing ready, the Rebbe said this, as finished, which means that already everything is ready for the feast, and we are already prepared to approach the table to eat and feast on the V'yasan and the Shor Bar, since here the Mashiach comes literally immediately. Since redemption has not yet come, number 12. This moment, and by divine providence, we're still here in this place and time. We must certainly utilize this to fulfill the instructions. Make here Eretz Yisrael, make here the land of Israel, as mentioned above. And regarding action, since make here Eretz Yisrael is an instruction that my father-in-law, the leader of the generation, publicized beforehand, it was not known except to only certain people. It is understood that this is an instruction to all people of generation who are connected to the leader of the generation. The leader is everything. And especially when now we're connected, okay. So he said we all have to do this. So what was that this instruction is for everybody. Okay, especially when we are here in the weeks when we read the Torah about the settling and the division of the land, and in a time we have already everything is ready for the feast. So here we're talking about in the Torah, it said, and everything's ready for the feast, and we're standing at the threshold of the redemption and the division of the land of Israel. Literally, everyone needs to add in their service to make here Eretz Yisrael. It's not that, we're almost there, so let's take it easy. No, we got to do more. Each and every Jew and Jewish, men, women, and children, each in his place and condition, and to do it with the most possible completeness, with one's thought, speech, and action. And through this, to get used to the completeness of the era of the redemption, as mentioned above. So we should be ready for the total redemption. Each and every Jew and each and every one of the Jewish people has a part in the mission in the world that Hashem gave to him. One is a businessman from Zevulun, another in the field of learning Torah, Yisachar, the different tribes, and the like. And within each category itself, each specific person has a different mission, different part and mission in the world. So each person has one's a Torah learner, but a different part. Everyone has a specific mission. And each one is in a certain part of the world. So he has a certain place, a certain mission, a certain place where Hashem brought him to. It says the steps of man are established by Hashem. And since his mission is specifically in this place, Hashem put me here, wherever I am. And so too regarding time, that each moment and each hour and each day and each month, each year and each period has its specific service of the mission, a specific service and mission. Although each millimeter of space and each moment in time, which is like nothing, every moment, and each person's specific mission in the world is only a small part of the whole world, of all the places and all the times. And sometimes a person could think, how would it be if he'd been in a different place in a different time? it is possible that a service would be in a different manner. Well, maybe it would be better and madder than it is now and the like. So let's say I was in the time when the base of Mikdash when we're by third base, second base of Mikdash, whatever it is. You could think in another place, like they say, the grass is greener on the other side of the road, in English. Anyways, and similar, there can be the question that since my service is only a small corner in the world, that's another question. First, first question is, maybe I should be someplace else. Second question is, I'm here. But here I'm just that my service is only a small part or corner in the world, and in a detail of details. It doesn't make such a difference how I act in it, and how much more so since seemingly it does not, as it seems to me, have an effect on the whole world. And more than this, he asks, how is it that it's demanded of him to bring redemption, a general redemption for the whole world, when his service is only a small part of the world in place and time? We hereby tell every Jew that you have an instruction from the leader of the generation, Mach the Eretz, and make here the land of Israel, that your service has to be expressed not in thinking about what is being done in a different corner of the world and in another time, as they are for themselves and for a side purpose. They're a different thing. They're for them. They're not the main thing right now. But they're for something else. You don't have to think. That's not for you right now. For the side purpose. Rather, give himself totally in the thought, speech, and action in making here Eretz Israel, the land of Israel, in your specific place and each moment of specific time. And specifically through this, so now we have to do it. Specifically through this, you will also be accomplished in the. You will also be accomplished in the whole world, the whole entire world, in all places and times. Since in your part of the world are included all parts. What's it mean? Similarly, how it's said regarding to the division of the land of Israel, that although each tribe and each family and each tribe received a certain part in the land of Israel, each part had all the virtues of all the parts of Israel, about which it is said, the land which the eyes of Hashem are from the beginning of the year, the end of the year, until they are on it until the end of the year. And our sages say Eretz Israel is missing nothing at all. So Hashem is just always looking. That means each part of the Israel has Hashem looking at it, and that means Hashem is giving us everything, and it does not lack anything. As the words of our sages, there's no one Jew, there's no one of the Jewish people who does not have a portion of a mountain, a plain, and a dry land, and a valley. So here we have. So each one of us has a portion to everything, and it's understood from the fact that each and every person must say the world was created for me. For since the whole world was created for him, it is understood that it is in his power to accomplish it in the whole world. The Rebbe is explaining that we have to do. Why? Through this. Since the whole world is created for me, so therefore it is in his power to accomplish in the whole world through this, that he, in his specific part, includes in him the whole entire world. The world that he put in their hearts. And he's in particular is in Zik that in him is included the whole world, like it says that Hashem and me is the whole world's included me. That the entire world, it says, was given to their hearts. Hashem gave us the entire world in our hearts. And although this service is only in one realm, as we can see also from Jews and Tzaddikim who already finished their mission in this world, and since all the Jewish people are some tzaddikim. So in other words, tzaddikim only did one part. They finished certain things. They finished a certain area that they had to finish. Therefore, and we're all tzaddikim, we must say, the Rebbe is saying that it's a special thing that their part at least, completely fulfilled their mission in the world, although it was not in all the realms of service. So they did their area, they did in a complete way. So in truth, each and every one of the Jewish people includes in him all the realms of service. You have to go over this and understand that from when we say Kriya Shema, this is amazing what I mentioned at the beginning of the class. When we say Kriya Shema upon going to sleep at night, it says whenever in this, whether in this incarnation or whether in another incarnation, and since it is honest accounting, you're being honest about this, you're not just saying words, is understood that it is in his power to accomplish also regarding another incarnation. And therefore, he can make an honest accounting of it. And according to this, it's understood that the service of all incarnations joined together in his service. So now he's changing everything. And from this, it's understood, from this is understood, that each and every one of the Jewish people, whatever his mission may be in the world, he has in his power to make here all of the land of Israel. So, and although this is accomplished so, and through this, to accomplish so in the whole entire world, that even a person is a businessman involved in worldly matters, and not a gabbai in a shul, or the like. And naturally he could seemingly think, what connection does he have with the holiness of the land of Israel? That seemingly he's only he's only in a shul or a base of midrash. That seemingly it would be only a shul or base of midrash. What does he have to do with that? He's not a shul or a base of midrash, place of study, holy temple. Truthfully, in addition to the fact that he can have a part in participating in the building of the shul, the synagogue, or the base of midrash, house of study, with his money or the like, also his own service. So one thing he can be involved in, he can give money to give into it. The other thing, it says that also in his service, he does it with completeness according to his power. Includes it, and every day he's giving it over in a complete way, includes in all aspects of service in all parts of Eretz Yisrael. And according to this, it's also understood that each and every one of the Jewish people has a responsibility to bring the redemption to the entire world, since through him doing his own service with completeness in thought, speech, and action, even in a detail, even in a single moment, and only one place here, it is in his power to turn it into Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, and through this to accomplish and to bring the complete redemption to the whole world. Wow. So everybody can do this, Rebbe says. And in simple words, we are presently standing close, right before the redemption. Each and every one of the Jewish people needs to get used to the redemption and to place himself in a state and feeling of redemption through making his day a personal redemption day of a geula dekadeh, and making his place Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, through him doing the service in this manner and through the place with total completeness, with thought, speech, and action. Guys, we're running late here. We're going to finish off anyways. And now we're on number 14. It's a little bit long here, but there's not that much to finish off. And as a result of the completeness of our own service in thought, speech, and action, there must show also in his speech similar to the lot speak out. What's it mean? That since his service is permeated with the instruction and the service of making Eretz Yisrael make here Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, with deep felt liveliness. He speaks about this with liveliness, also that others publicize and instruct make here Israel. In other words, you're so excited about it, and we want to speak it. So we're talking about, you see, the Geula, like we see in Eretz Yisrael, all these Jews coming throughout the world, Jews standing up and just being one with Hashem, being one with each other. We see things making Geula. We see this. So we should talk about it, see the miracles, and get other people excited about it, because people go around and they don't even think about these things. And you see, and they're not even thinking, I always say hello to people. I say, "Bon Nishma, how are you?" And a lot of times people they're walking like this. All of a sudden they say, "Oh, Baruch Hashem, I'm great." They start thinking, all of a sudden they woke up. God's taking care of me, Baruch Hashem. It's the same thing here, making Eretz Yisrael. We have to be excited and talk about it to other people, to his household and to those who are near to him, and most certainly to the disciples, to the extent that he speaks about this with whoever he can reach. And since it comes from his inner self, he speaks words that come from his heart, which go into the heart and accomplish their accomplishment, and most certainly through him showing a living example of his own service, to the extent that he accomplishes that also the hearers become speakers. The lot would speak. I do this. I've done a little bit. I do this. One of my friends, I finally we got him a bucket of Rebbe water he gives out to his family. Started learning Dvar Malchus. Now I'm trying to tell him that I tell everybody else about it. We got to speak out. We got to be the lottery, speaking out. Well, I once went into the Rebbe. I think it was my third Yechidus. Must have been Lamed Gimel, I think. I took over the dates. So I asked the Rebbe what I should do to bring close my family, to carve my family, because they're not religious. They don't know anything. So the Rebbe said, set a shining example. So this is what the Rebbe is saying here: set a shining example. Shine out. Be a wonderful Jew. Go out, talk about Mashiach. Shine. Get it from your heart. Give it to everybody. And regarding action, immediately when Shabbos is over, if Mashiach will have a forfeit not come before them, we should see to publicize in every single place, in a way permitted after Shabbos, the instruction, make here Eretz Yisrael, make this here the land of Israel, and to continue to publicize the instruction in the following days until Mashiach will come, and then we shall continue in the land of Israel, literally, in addition to the phenomena that Israel is destined to spread to all the nations. Now we're in number 15. One of the special matters of the service of making here is Israel, which is connected especially to the 9 days. When we start on the Friday, it's a custom to make siyomim. They would finish a part in the Torah and make a siyum in the Torah, siyomim. So that we learn different tractates, the large portions in the Gemara, and they would at the end you make a siyum, and it's like a very happy thing. It's a festival upon completing tractates of the shas of each day of the 9 days, even when a meat meal is not eaten afterwards, because at a siyum it's a big simcha, so you're supposed to eat meat after it, but he says we don't have to. From Rosh Chodesh until Tisha B'Av, on the Erev Tisha B'Av and on Tisha B'Av, and as in a permitted manner according to Shulchan Aruch. So he says that we should continue to have the coming the 9 days. Very important for us to make siyum. He's telling us to do. And among the reasons for this, that since in these days we are looking for all permitted matters, how we can increase in good and happy matters, and through this is revealed the inner good and the descent connected with these days, starting from the commandments of Hashem, are straight and glad in heart. So the Rebbe is saying here we're going to a time is considered the most difficult time. He says, but we have to look at ways how to show everything's wonderful. And by learning Torah, that's it. So we make a joyous celebration on completing the Torah. And for this reason, it is correct to make a siyum also on Shabbos day, the 9 days, and this year both a Shabbosim of the second of Av and the Shabbosim of the postponed Tisha B'Av. So we should do it all the time. It may be the will of Hashem that even before the beginning of these days, the redemption shall already come, and the prophecy should be fulfilled, that these days should be transferred to joy and gladness and good and festivals. And through the phenomena that the Jewish people do the service, Machdo Eretz Yisrael, make here the land of Israel in completeness, and to get used to the redemption, we will literally immediately dance into redemption. And we will all dance into the Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, and we will see a part of the division of the Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, in the redemption to the 13 tribes by Hashem himself. God himself is going to give us this. Hashem will divide it to them himself. So Hashem's going to divide the land. We're not going to have a Gor, we're going to have Hashem doing it. And as I mentioned above, Eretz Yisrael is destined to spread to all the lands. L'chaim, everybody, mitzvah Hashem. You gotta go over this and learn this. As I say, livingmashiach.com has this in it in English. This is very important. I tell you, when I learn this and I think about it, and I think the more I learn, the more I see the redemption in the world, the more I'm happy, the more I spread out, and I help people all the time. And I talk to people and go, that's what I do. I have to remember that Hashem gave, this is something that's very important to me. Because Rebbe's telling you that I have to remember I'm special. And that wherever I'm, whatever I'm, have special time and special place. And Hashem put me in this special time and special place. And therefore I have to go and change the world. This is what the Rebbe's talking about. I had recently, I have some issues. I helped some people, helping them and supporting organization, and certain things, and some difficult things are happening over there. And I don't like to deal with, things that aren't straightforward and honest. I don't like it. So I've opened up Igris for a similar situation. And the Rebbe says you have to understand that this is all from Hashem, that wherever it is all from Hashem, and Hashem knows it's best, and that you're just serving God. And you shouldn't take it to heart. When you're having these difficulties, he said, don't take it to heart. You have to realize it's from Hashem. A friend of mine asked my Mashbiya, it's the Biala Rebbe, So he asked him, what do you, it doesn't feel good. So the Rebbe told me, he says, you don't realize you're connected to something good. So that's why Dvar Malchus will make us realize it. Sei gesund, ich hier an Enel, mal rennen, wenn Melch, Mashiach, Leon, Bread.